and welcome to Sofa Health Talks. I'm your host, Liana Shengalaya. Today we'll be discussing all things about anti-aging medicine. Anti-aging medicine is a branch of medicine which aims to reduce the chance of developing age-related diseases for the extension of healthy lifespan. Back in 2010, I have attended Congress of Anti-Aging Medicine in Dubai, where I have met Professor George Birkmayer. He presented me with his book, NADH, the Biological Hydrogen, signed by George Birkmayer. After the lecture that I have attended, he's a quite known scientist in the scientific world. He was the first and only to succeed in stabilizing NADH in tablet form and making it bioavailable for the human body. The more NADH a cell has available, the more energy it can produce, the better it functions, and the longer the cell and the entire organism live. Though NADH is present in our foods, for instance, in meat and seafood, we only get marginal amounts and is degraded within seconds by acid environment produced by the gastric juices. Fortunately, a safe and effective NADH supplement is now available. It has a myriad of health benefits that will be discussed further. Professor George Birkmayer will be telling us all the health benefits of this powerful formula. Without further ado, here we go with Professor George Birkmayer. So hello, Professor Birkmayer. I'm very excited for our chat today. So welcome to Sofa Health Talks, episode 12.
My pleasure, Liana.
So before beginning, can you tell us briefly about your career journey and how you end up being an expert in your NADH supplement?
Well, to cut the long story short, I was born in Vienna in 1941, so I'm 80 years old. I studied biochemistry in Vienna and later on medicine at the University of Munich. Then I became professor at the University of Graz, and I had one of the biggest medical laboratories in Austria. We were one of the reference laboratory of Pfizer, one of the three in Europe. And then in 91, I collaborated with my late father, who was the discoverer of the classical therapy for Parkinson disease, the L-DOPA. And he had a lot of patients in which the L-DOPA didn't work, and he asked me to find something else. And I looked up, what compound needs to produce and stimulate L-DOPA biosynthesis. And I ended up with NADH, and that was it.
That's wonderful. So you have accomplished the mission, what your father wanted to accomplish. It's amazing discovery. And you have numerous research papers regarding this topic, this powerful formula. What is NADH and its biological functions?
Well, NADH is the abbreviation for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide hydride. So it's the reduced form of coenzyme 1. And it's the most important compound in our organism, in our body. And it reacts with, a number of enzymes, more than 1,000 enzymes in our body are stimulated by NADH. The problem with NADH is it's a biological hydrogen, and hydrogen is very sensitive to oxidation. If you put the powder of NADH on the table, tomorrow it's totally oxidized.
Yes, I'm aware of it, that it's also present in some food like meat, fish, seafood, and while cooking, it disappears. NADH.
Right. Yeah. So we have the highest concentration of NADH in muscle, and in the heart, and then in the brain. But if you take meat, the NADH is totally destroyed in the gastric juice, in the acid gastric juice. And that was a very big problem. It took us more than 5 years of extensive research to stabilize NADH and to transport it in an orally absorbable form. And for those development, we received worldwide patents, more than 50 patents.
So if it's not a secret, how you made it bioavailable, absorbable for human organism?
NADH needs a stabilizer
Stabilize.
to, to make NADH stable for at least 2 years to comply with the requirements for food supplements. And we succeeded, and we developed various stabilizers. But one of the simplest is baking soda, which the cooks know it. Sodium bicarbonate at a very specific concentration. Sodium bicarbonate stabilizes NADH for more than 3 years.
I see. Interesting. And I'm aware that it doesn't have any side effects. There were no side effects documented.
First of all, we applied with the FDA to do a study on Alzheimer's disease, and we have to provide the FDA with our toxicology data. And we did the study in the British laboratory and found out that 1,000 milligrams can be taken per day without any side effects. So this is about 50 pills of our NADH rapid energy. And the other point is, we did the study, that the outcome of the study was very positive. The patient with Alzheimer's dementia improved significantly in certain cognitive function. And so far, this is the first and only substance which leads to improvement. But in all these studies, and we have a study on chronic fatigue and on sleep deprivation, all the side effects had to be documented. We did not find any side effects. So you can take higher dosages. We just finished the study with 100 milligrams of NADH daily for 3 months and tested the cognitive performance. And also this cognitive performance improved by more than 30%.
That's very impressive. You have this award-winning supplement called NADH Rapid, and the name itself says how quickly it can naturally boost our energy levels.
That's a very good point, because NADH Rapid is the fast acting. You take the tablets under the tongue, where it dissolves in 2 minutes, and you can measure the energizing effect of NADH Rapid after 20 minutes by a number of medical technical instruments. For example, heart rate variability, or if you go in the fitness center and jump on the spiroergometry, and you can measure that. This is the one and only substance where you can measure the energizing effect in 20 minutes. And and there is no other supplement in the world which a faster kick-in time.
That's wonderful. And as you have mentioned before, it's not a doping. It was taken by a lot of successful athletes.
Well, first of all, NADH is not on the list of the prohibited substances, and it will never come to the list because it's a natural substance we all have in our body. With any piece of meat, you get NADH in your body. And so, even the detection of NADH in the body is not that simple. But we did a number of studies with Olympic athletes, but I'm not allowed to mention the name. But we have 5 gold medal winners. But the problem with the athletes is you cannot use the athletes for your marketing perspectives or activities, because if you mention a name of a gold medal winner, all his competitors will immediately taking NADH as an energizer. You understand what I mean?
Yes, makes sense, really. How long can a person be in heightened energy levels after taking NADH Rapid?
If you take NADH Rapid, it lasts about 3 to 5 hours, depending on the weight and the size of the consumer. But after the 4 hours, you can take another Rapid. We have customers, they are taking 10 tablets of Rapid a day. Most of them are suffering from a disease. But the regular healthy person, I recommend 4 tablets, 2 times 2 tablets of Rapid, 2 in the morning and 2 after lunch.
Perfect. And it doesn't impair sleep. It contrary regulates our circadian rhythm, as I'm aware.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, you should not take it too late in the evening because as NADH stimulates adrenaline and dopamine, it keeps you awake. But on the other hand, we did a study on the effect of NADH rapid on sleep deprivation. That was a study at Cornell University in New York. And on two groups, it was a double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study, and the, the participants taking NADH were not only better than the placebo group, but they were better than after a full night's sleep. You know,
Mhm.
these objects were kept awake for 24 hours
Uh-huh.
by, EEG control, electroencephalographic control. And imagine that after uh, uh, 24 hours without sleep, a real sleep deficiency, and then you take any day and you are better than after a full night's sleep. That's
Mhm.
enormous, for shift workers, for doctors,
Yes,
uh, truck drivers, etc.
for mothers as well, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if a doctor, a surgeon, or traumatic surgeon has a night duty or an emergency case and he takes NADH, he's much better off than without. Coffee is not the solution. Coffee releases adrenaline from the nerve cells, but after the third coffee, the pools of the nerve cells are free of adrenaline and the coffee will not help. Whereas NADH helps in any case because
Yeah,
it's increasing adrenaline and dopamine, and this is all what we need for our activities.
that's very true. As we age, there's a less amount of NADH produced, and your supplement will help to boost NADH levels, energy levels naturally.
All right, and we have documented, we have scientifically proven, we have a heart cell system, heart cells in tissue culture. If you add um, these cells, NADH, you can measure an increase in ATP by 35 to 40%. If
Mhm.
you do the same with NAD plus, with the oxidized form of NADH, nothing happens. So
Mhm.
NAD plus is not working and it does not increase the cellular energy
Uh-huh.
because it's not transported through the cell membrane.
Mm.
NADH is hydrophobic and it passes the cell membrane without any hindrance, whereas NAD plus is a charged molecule, and a charged molecule can never ever cross a lipid membrane like a cell membrane.
I see. It also helps to control the weight.
You
Yes.
know what? But to explain it in short, our food consists of proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates, and they are metabolized, and then they ended up in the so-called Krebs cycles. In
Mhm.
the Krebs cycle, NADH is produced. Now, if you add the organism NADH from outside, the organism says, if I get enough NADH, I don't need any food, which is true. We have tested this. And if you don't need any food and you don't eat, then you lose weight or you can maintain your weight. And
Mhm.
that's the clue. And we have a product which is called Kilo, which means kilo low. And
Mhm.
people taking that, they lose 2 to 3 kilograms a week until their weight is normal.
Mhm.
And then they can keep that normal weight by using Kilo, NADH Kilo.
That's very interesting. I actually remember a Krebs cycle during my med school. My professor
Yeah.
was very passionate about it. The next question, how NADH can interact with telomerase enzyme in order to stop, slow, or reverse telomere shortening that happens as we age. So, how does NADH interact with telomerase enzyme?
Very good point. Telomerase is a very critical enzyme to keep our genes, our DNA, the so-called telomeres, intact. And the as we age, the telomerase activity declines. And so they cannot control these nucleotides at the end of a DNA. This is one of the reasons of aging.
Mhm.
And NAD plus, the oxidized form of NADH, is a stimulator or a controller of telomerase. And the more NAD plus you have in the cells, the better the telomerase works. But as I mentioned before, NAD plus does not enter the cells. However, NADH
Mhm.
enters the cell, and in the cells it's oxidized, and this oxidized product is NAD plus, and NAD plus activates telomerase. This is the mechanism behind one of the anti-aging effects. The point is NAD plus needs or controls telomerase, but NAD plus cannot enter the cells. But
Mhm.
with NADH, you can increase the intercellular NAD plus content, and
Mhm.
by that you can, control or stimulate telomerase. But
Wonderful.
the, anti, there are a number of other anti-aging effects of NADH. For example, increasing of cellular energy is unique. Only NADH can increase cellular energy. NAD plus cannot do that. So the energizing of every living cells, and if the cells have more energy, they function better and they live longer. The second anti-aging effect proven from NADH is repair of DNA. The damaged DNA is the cause of many diseases, including cancer.
Mhm.
Uh, and if you can repair these DNA damages, you may also cure the diseases based on this DNA defect. And we have shown with my friend in China that NADH can repair or can, revitalize damaged cells. He used liver cells. He irradiated the liver cells with the lethal dosage,
Mhm.
and then he incubated the almost dead cells with NADH, and he could recover 70% of the damaged unvital cells. And this tells you that even damaged cells, whether it's in the heart or in the brain or in the lung, can
Mhm.
benefit from NADH.
That's incredible. It's a magical formula that you have discovered. And I want to spread the word about it and everyone to know about it. It's in Georgia, especially, not many people are aware of it. And I want to bring your products to Georgia. And the listeners would like to know how they can reach you, how they can find you, and get more information about your NADH supplements.
Well, first of all, we have a website. It's called Birkmayer, like my name, minus NADH.com. Birkmayer minus NADH.com. But you can also provide your customers and your clients with my email address. And I have published a book, NADH, the biological hydrogen, the secret of our life energy,
Oh,
in English. Actually, it's also translated into Russian and in Chinese. We have a shortcut of the book. It's called The Brochure about NADH. All you should know about NADH. And with all your customers and clients, we can provide them with the brochure free of charge, and then they can read. And if they have the information, they may be motivated to buy the product and test it.
yeah, and I hope we meet again, hopefully. Thank you so much for your time. And it was so much valuable information that you have spread for my listeners.
My pleasure to be with you. And yeah, I'll come again whenever you want me to talk again about NADH and its potential in keeping us young. As I mentioned at the beginning, I passed my 80th anniversary end of January.
You look
And,
great for your age.
and
You look
many people
perfect.
cannot believe that I'm that old. Well, my brain is still functioning and my memory is unbelievable because my coworkers fear that I can recall many of unknown things. Anyhow, Liana, it was a pleasure. Take care. Stay well.
Thank
And I hope
you
to
so much.
hear you from you soon. Yes. All the best.
We'll keep in
Bye
touch.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.